What if the secret to earning deep respect wasn't about power, money, or fame, but about how you serve others? How often do we pause to ask, who am I helping today? Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe for more thought-provoking lessons on self-improvement and the mindset of true leadership. Let's talk about something timeless, how serving others can become your greatest source of strength and respect. 1. The foundation of respect. Respect doesn't come from demanding attention. It comes from giving it. A person who constantly seeks validation or control over others only reveals insecurity, not strength. True respect is not extracted through force or fear, but cultivated through quiet integrity and consistent action. It grows naturally in the presence of character. The Stoics remind us that what truly commands admiration is not power or status, but virtue, the calm assurance of one who governs himself before seeking to guide others. Respect begins with how we see people, not as instruments to be used, but as souls to be understood. When you give another person your full attention, when you listen without interrupting, observe without judgment, and speak without the intention to impress, you plant the seeds of genuine respect. This is the paradox of influence. Those who chase it rarely find it. Those who forget it and focus on service often gain it beyond measure. People remember those who uplift, not those who dominate. A single act of sincere kindness leaves a deeper mark than years of manipulation or coercion. In every interaction, we have the opportunity to either expand someone's confidence or diminish it. The Stoic mind knows that tearing others down to feel superior is weakness disguised as power. To uplift is to strengthen both yourself and the world around you. There is quiet dignity in being the person who steadies others when they falter, who speaks peace when others stir chaos, and who stands firm when the crowd trembles. Respect, in its purest form, is mutual elevation, an unspoken agreement that we are all part of something larger, and that our strength is multiplied through unity, not competition. In every act of genuine service, we show strength without arrogance, compassion without weakness. These qualities coexist only in those who have mastered themselves. Service is not servitude, it is the deliberate choice to contribute, even when no one is watching. It requires courage to put the needs of others before your ego, and patience to continue doing so in a world obsessed with self-promotion. Yet, when you serve, truly serve, you express the best parts of human nature. You remind others and yourself that fulfillment is not found in the applause of others, but in the quiet satisfaction of doing what is right. Stoicism teaches that virtue is our greatest wealth, and service is virtue in action. To live virtuously is to live in accordance with reason, justice, and humility. It means treating every encounter as a chance to embody your values, rather than merely to preach them. When you approach life this way, respect ceases to be a goal and becomes a natural consequence. You no longer seek approval because you already possess peace within. Respect, then, is not something we demand. It is something we radiate. 2. The Stoic perspective. The Stoics believed that the highest purpose of life is to contribute meaningfully to others. Life, in their view, is not a solitary pursuit, but a shared journey, where each act of service strengthens the collective spirit of humanity. They saw no contradiction between self-mastery and selflessness, for to discipline the mind is to make oneself capable of greater love, patience, and understanding. Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most powerful man of his time, often reminded himself that leadership was not a privilege, but a duty to the common good. He wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity, not as a call to fame, but as a reminder that every thought, word, and deed reverberates far beyond the moment. Our smallest acts of virtue contribute to the moral architecture of the world. To serve, then, is to participate in something eternal." To serve is to live with purpose, not for applause, but for alignment with what truly matters. The Stoic does not act for recognition. He acts because right action is its own reward. He knows that praise is fleeting and criticism inevitable, but integrity endures. The true Stoic measures success not by public approval, but by the tranquility of his own conscience. Service becomes an expression of his inner order, a reflection of a soul at peace with itself. To live this way requires clarity, to discern what is within your control and what is not. You cannot control how others perceive your service, but you can control its sincerity. You cannot dictate the outcome, but you can ensure the intention is pure. Thus, Stoic service is both humble and powerful. Humble because it seeks no applause, powerful because it transforms both giver and receiver. A Stoic leader doesn't seek recognition. He seeks to leave others stronger than he found them. He does not lead from above, but from beside, guiding, supporting, and reminding others of their own potential. He understands that leadership is not a throne, but a responsibility. His strength lies in restraint, his wisdom in listening, his greatness in empathy. The Stoic view of service is therefore deeply practical. Every role, no matter how small, offers a chance to contribute meaningfully. Whether one is a teacher, a parent, a friend, or a stranger, the opportunity to serve with virtue is constant. In living this way, the Stoic transforms ordinary moments into sacred acts. The workplace becomes a place of moral exercise, the family a school of patience, and adversity a test of endurance. In each, the Stoic asks not, "What do I gain?" but "How can I contribute?" This quiet reorientation turns life itself into a continuous act of service, and through that, one becomes free. 3. The leader who serves. Great leaders don't command, they guide. They understand that authority without empathy is hollow, and that respect cannot be coerced. Leadership at its highest level is not about control, but about cultivation, helping others grow into their own strength and wisdom. The Stoic leader knows that the measure of his success lies not in the number of people who obey him, but in the number who are empowered by him. To guide is to walk beside others, not ahead of them. It requires the humility to listen, the patience to teach, and the courage to serve even when unappreciated. The leader who serves embodies a paradox. He holds power, yet he does not cling to it. He commands respect, yet he seeks none. They understand that service is the language of trust. Words can inspire, but actions sustain belief. When people see a leader who serves, who shoulders burdens quietly, who gives credit freely, and who treats all with fairness, they follow not out of fear, but out of respect. The Stoic philosophy reminds us that trust cannot be built on manipulation or spectacle. It is earned through consistent integrity. Each decision, each gesture, becomes a reflection of one's inner state. If the heart is selfish, people feel it. If the heart is steady and sincere, people rally around it. The leader's example is contagious. Calm inspires calm. Virtue awakens virtue. Whether you're leading a team, a family, or yourself, true leadership begins with humility. To lead others effectively, one must first master the art of self-leadership, the discipline to control impulses, to act with reason, and to remain calm amid chaos. The Stoic leader accepts that not everything will go as planned, yet he refuses to be shaken by misfortune. He learns, adapts, and continues serving with integrity. In every hardship, he asks not, "Why me?" but "What can I learn? How can I use this for good?" Such questions refine the spirit and deepen one's capacity for compassion. You don't rise above people, you rise by lifting them. Each act of genuine support raises both the giver and the receiver. A Stoic leader sees potential where others see problems. He builds bridges where others draw lines. His legacy is not in monuments or titles, but in the lives he has quietly shaped. In serving others, he fulfills his highest calling, to live in harmony with reason and virtue. Leadership, in this sense, is not a role but a practice, a daily choice to serve rather than dominate, to uplift rather than boast, to guide rather than control. When power is joined with humility and strength with compassion, the leader becomes not a ruler but a light, steady, calm, and enduring, guiding others not by demand but by example. 4. Practical ways to serve. Service doesn't require status, wealth, or recognition. It simply requires the willingness to see beyond oneself. The Stoics taught that the highest good lies in virtue and that every act aligned with virtue, no matter how small, is a form of service to humanity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Men exist for the sake of one another. Teach them then, or bear with them." This wisdom reminds us that service begins in our attitude, in how we treat those around us each day. You don't need to change the world overnight. You only need to contribute sincerely to the small part of it within your reach. That could mean offering your time to help a neighbor, guiding a younger colleague through a challenge, or even practicing patience and kindness in moments of irritation. Each act, though modest, carries an invisible force that shapes both your character and the world around you. To serve effectively, one must first understand that service is not about superiority, it's about solidarity. It is not the rich giving to the poor or the strong aiding the weak. It is one human extending a hand to another in recognition of our shared humanity. True service is done quietly, without expectation of praise or return. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." The most powerful way to serve others is not by lecturing them about values, but by living those values so consistently that they become a source of inspiration. When you offer your time or energy selflessly, you reflect the Stoic principle that virtue is its own reward. Start where you are. If you have time, volunteer it. If you have knowledge, share it. If you have compassion, let it be seen in your actions. Mentorship, for instance, is one of the purest forms of service. It bridges generations, preserves wisdom, and uplifts those who might otherwise feel lost. But even simpler gestures, listening without judgment, offering encouragement, showing patience in tense moments, these too are forms of service. The Stoics believed that one cannot control external events, but one can always control one's response. In that response lies the power to serve meaningfully, because it is born from intention and integrity, not from impulse or vanity. Every act of kindness plants a seed of respect that grows quietly but powerfully. The world often glorifies grand gestures, donations, awards, or visible acts of heroism, but the truest respect arises from consistent compassion. It's in the friend who stays late to help, the stranger who gives directions with warmth, the teacher who believes in a struggling student. Service transforms both the giver and the receiver. It expands empathy, dissolves ego, and reminds us of our connection to something larger than ourselves. In serving others, you shape a deeper, steadier kind of influence. Your impact spreads not when you accumulate power or possessions, but when you give of yourself freely and authentically. Service, therefore, is not a task. It's a way of life, a daily practice of humility and contribution that nurtures both virtue and respect. 5. A real-life inspiration. When we think of those who embody the spirit of service, names like Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, or Nelson Mandela often come to mind. These figures remind us that greatness is not defined by titles or wealth, but by an unshakable commitment to the welfare of others. Mother Teresa, for example, lived among the poorest of the poor, serving them with tenderness and devotion. She did not act for recognition. In fact, she often shunned praise. Her legacy endures precisely because her service came from humility and love, a reflection of Stoic virtue in action. The respect she earned was not bestowed by institutions, but by the countless lives she touched, the comfort she offered, and the example she set. But inspiration does not have to come only from historical figures. In today's world, there are countless individuals, teachers, healthcare workers, community leaders, and ordinary citizens who live lives of quiet service. Modern philanthropists who use their success to uplift others, like Bill and Melinda Gates, or those who champion causes for education, health, and climate, remind us that privilege can become a platform for purpose. Yet the most powerful examples of service often come from those whose names we will never know: the nurse who comforts a dying patient, the neighbor who shares food with someone in need, or the activist who fights for justice with no guarantee of reward. Each of these acts contributes to the moral fabric of humanity, weaving a legacy of compassion that outlives any single life. What makes these individuals remarkable is not their fame, but their consistency. They serve not once, but continuously, again and again, even when no one is watching. Their respect is built not from status, but from their willingness to return, to persevere, and to care even when it's inconvenient. This persistence in service is what sets apart those who make a momentary impact from those who create lasting change. Stoicism teaches that respect should never be sought externally. It grows naturally in those who live with integrity and devotion to the common good. In serving others without expecting reward, we align ourselves with the natural order, the Stoic idea that we are all part of one body, one community of reason and care. That's the kind of legacy service creates. It outlasts wealth, fame, and achievement. It speaks in actions, not words, in kindness, not power. When you choose to serve, you're not just helping another person, you're shaping the moral world you inhabit. Service becomes a mirror of your values, a reflection of your soul's strength. As Seneca wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." To live by that truth is to create a legacy of respect that no title can confer and no time can erase. The truly respected are those who give, not those who grasp, who lift others, not themselves. And when your life becomes a source of comfort, courage, or hope to even one person, you have already achieved something timeless, a legacy rooted in service, sustained by compassion, and crowned with quiet dignity. Today, don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Create it. Find one person you can serve, even in a small way, because every act of service shapes not just how others see you, but who you become. Subscribe if you believe respect is earned through action, and let's grow, serve, and lead together.